Okay, you have made it to the end of chapter 3. This is the last lesson. Super fast chapter here, I know. This last lesson is a brand new lesson I've added because I just want to have a couple more options for us, or opportunities for us to review the order of operations with integers, because this is where I start to see boo-boos happen. Let's go over it. No notes, just 2 example problems for you. Let's get right into it, okay? So in this problem it says the quantity of 2 times negative 9 plus 3 squared minus the quantity of 8 minus negative 8. So we've got a lot of parentheses going on there, and we are going to want to start in our first set of parentheses right here. Inside this set of parentheses, we have a couple things going on. We have multiplication, we have addition, and we have an exponent. So if I remember my rules correctly, it's parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division from left to right, adding and subtracting from left to right. So we have to tackle our parentheses first, and inside that set of parentheses I have an exponent. So 3 squared is 9, and don't you dare drop those parentheses yet. They are super important, so we need to keep them there until we are completely finished with them. Okay, and we're going to copy the rest of this excuse me, the rest of this problem down as well. All right, same set of parentheses. I've got a multiplication problem and an addition problem. My multiplication problem will occur first. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18. Don't you dare drop those parentheses yet. We're not finished with them. We still have a problem inside. Sometimes these get long to copy, don't they? Okay, still working at that same set of parentheses. Negative 18 plus 9, more negatives than positives, so it's going to be a negative, and I'm making 0 pairs, so I subtract those 2 numbers and I get a negative 9. I finally can drop that set of parentheses, and now I have a whole new set of parentheses to take care of right here. Okay, inside this set of parentheses, I only have one problem. It's a subtraction problem. 8 minus negative 8. Minus tells me I have to add a line and change the sign. This becomes a really nice, easy problem here. 8 plus 8 is 16. I can drop the parentheses because I have no other problem inside. And now my last problem here is negative 9 minus 16. Add a line, change the sign. More negatives than positives, right? Both of them are negatives, so I have to add them together. I can't make 0 pairs, so I get the final answer, negative 25. Okay, one more. I'm going to bring this down just to remind me with number 2. Number 2, I've got grouping symbols in that I have some parentheses here, but I also have these this fraction bar, so it groups my problem into a numerator and a denominator. So I'm going to start with the numerator, negative 4 times the quantity 3 minus 7. And within my group, I have another group, this parenthesis set right here, 3 minus 7. I am going to add a line, change the sign, and I get 3 plus negative 7. I have more negatives than positives. I can make 0 pairs, so I subtract, so that gets me a negative 4. And now, guys, I cannot drop those parentheses because I've got this negative 4 in front multiplying that set of parentheses. So I have to keep the parentheses there. Negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16, and I put my fraction back together with the 16 in the numerator. Second group is our denominator. I'm going to start with the parentheses. I have negative 2 minus 2, so I have to add a line and change the sign of the next number. So that gets me the new problem, negative 2 plus negative 2, which is negative 4. Again, you cannot get rid of those parentheses because you have this 2 in front locking it in place. That's a multiplication problem there. Okay, so I've got a subtraction problem and a multiplication problem. I have to multiply before I can subtract. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Okay, I am going to put that in parentheses because that's the answer to 2 times negative 4. I have to bring this subtraction sign into my problem here. Okay, that's the part I was worried you were going to miss. I did 2 times negative 4 and I got negative 8. And now I have to take my subtraction problem, and put it down into the problem and bring my 4 down. I will show you another way to do this as well if you would like to see it. I'll show you something in a second here. 4 minus negative 8. Minus tells me I have to add a line and change the sign. I get 4 plus 8. I love it when that happens. Positive 4 plus positive 8 is positive 12. And now I can bring that into my denominator here. And we have an improper fraction. We don't love that. First thing I'm going to do is divide by 4 to simplify this fraction. We can do the simplifying first, and it will help to get us a slightly easier improper fraction. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. And now I have a slightly easier improper fraction to make into a mixed number. Drop the 4 into the house. 3 goes into 4 one whole time, subtract, and I get a 1 in my remainder. That becomes the numerator, and my denominator is still a 3. Okay, so my final answer is 1 1/3. Why did I take it to fractions? Because that was a fraction problem. A fraction problem turns into a fraction answer. Okay, I do want to show you a variation on how to solve your denominator problem here. So if you give me a quick second, I'll show you that alternate way. Maybe that will help you a little bit more. So we had this problem 4 minus 2 times negative 4. So I solved it by taking 2 times negative 4 and I got negative 8. And then I brought down the minus sign, and I got 4 minus negative 8. And you can totally do that. If that makes sense to you, stick with it. But here's another way to do this problem that you may like. So what I can do is I can bounce this minus sign to the 2, and I can make it a negative 2. Okay, stick with me for a quick second. I'm going to put a little blue bracket under that to make you realize I'm talking about a negative 2 here. Okay, so if I think of this as a negative 2, negative 2 times negative 4, a negative times a negative is a positive, so I'm going to put a plus sign here. Negative times a negative is a positive, so I'm going to put a plus sign. Plus and positive, same thing, right? 2 times 4 is 8, and then I just drop my 4 into position. Okay, I'm using that sign to do my multiplication, which is why I'm not bringing it down into my problem. I'm using it to multiply. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. The positive becomes a plus sign, and 4 plus 8 equals 12. We got the exact same thing. Check it out. It just looked a little different. Both methods are completely mathematically sound. Both methods will work every single time. So you take your choice of which way you would prefer to do this, and I'll tell you, I think you should pick one way and stick to it. Pick one way and stick to it. We'll talk about both of those methods tomorrow in class. Okay, final answer for number 2 is 1 1/3. Final answer for number 1 is negative 25. Get working on those practice problems. Get started on your study guide because we have a test coming up. Bring any questions that you have about anything in chapter 3 to class tomorrow, and I'll answer them. Have a great day.